Oh, my knee. I forgot that was under there. You know, if I didn't hit my knee off that, I probably would have, squished myself into the table. Desk, table, same thing, not same thing. Technically the same thing, technically not the same thing. Although I guess you could use a table as a desk and a desk as a table. Toad and frog, rat and mouse. I was going to say rat and toad, but no, those are very different things. Hello, frog fans. Completely missed. I got this. It's supposed to be this. I got this. Anyways. My brain is on vacation today, apparently. She had yellow mottling yet? I don't think she has. We'll do that. Not making that mistake again. We're coming in slowly this time. This is the first time I've ever had a rolly, spinny chair. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Gonna have to mix some more yellow. Ow! I'm just determined to take myself out today. It's funny, the rabbit isn't used to furniture that moves, so when she decided she was brave enough to try and jump up on the chair the other day, she jumped up and the motion of her jumping on it made it spin, and she's going, whoa, whoa, make it stop, make it stop. Stop the ride! So I laughed at her, and then rescued her from the scary spinning chair, and she's just like, oh my god, what is that? Don't do it again! So, yesterday, the video that I put up was a doll packing, so, just packing up the doll, getting it ready to leave, to go home, as we say. I put air quotes around a lot of things, just because, we do use all these terms, but I don't want to, set anybody off in the comment sections. I don't want to deal with it. So, yeah, anyways, left field, off topic, squirrel! Brain fart. Well, it wasn't really a brain fart, it was more of it was a squirrel moment. Anyways. So I put that video up, and I had the doll all ready to go, and we were supposed to meet at the local bus station. As you know, I haven't met anyone at a bus station before, but I did one delivery of a doll, which I probably won't be very tempted to do again, just because, it wasn't really my fault, it wasn't really their fault, it was just a miscommunication, and my grandma drove me down to the location, and we ended up waiting outside in her van in this extremely sketchy neighborhood, part of the city, and there was these people outside, and this building looked like a house, and, but there was a bunch of mailboxes. There's 3 mailboxes outside, so, usually that means that there are units inside, and I got the address, I got all the information, all I didn't get was a unit number, because I thought that, if they just give you, like, like the street number, you're not going, that there isn't units, because usually if you're giving someone your address, you would say the unit too. But, eventually it was my grandma that decided to just open the front door of this house and see if it was actually apartment buildings or not. And I was too scared because I was afraid that I was going to just, like, waltz into somebody's house. Because I could see that the door was open, but I'm like, I don't want to just walk into somebody's living room. What if they have a shotgun? Okay, anyways, not the story I'm trying to tell here. So yeah, we were supposed to meet at the bus station to exchange the doll, and, in the middle of the night, after I had uploaded the video, I got a message saying that they could no longer pick up the doll because they couldn't afford it. And, like, I get it, they're not the most affordable things in the world. And, priorities, right? I mean, you gotta pay the bills, you gotta feed your family, you gotta put your food on your families, as Bush once said. One of the Bushes, I can't remember which one, because I don't really care all that much, but gotta put the food on your families. They don't gotta eat it, you just gotta put it on them. Anyway, so I get it, priorities. A doll isn't a priority, but at the same, and I suppose, emergencies happen, things go wrong, like cars break, maybe your house needs something new and essential. Well, no, it's not the US, it's Canada, so medical bills it's not that. But in the US, I suppose, someone could have gotten very badly hurt and now you need the money for medical bills. But not here. But, like, unless something catastrophic like that happens, like, to me, too many people contact me and say that they'll buy a doll and then back out at the last second for it to be, like, something catastrophically expensive couldn't have happened to all of these people. And, like, my problem with it is you commit all the way up to the last second and then you back out saying that you don't have the money. And my thing is, why would you commit that far, and how can you commit that far and not know that you don't have the money? I mean, I guess it could just be a me thing, because I've always been very diligent and calculated with my money. But it's just weird and really frustrating to me, that pattern that always seems to emerge with people buying dolls. This yellow is looking so good on her. I mean, and I'm not going to try and dig into this person to get more answers, because, it's kind of not my business. And, if it is something like, well, no, they don't have a car because they were taking the bus, but if it was something like something important broke in their house, like the furnace or something, and they gotta buy a new one, because in Canada, this time of year, you have to have a way to heat your house, or, something catastrophic like that, and they no longer have the money that was there before, I totally get it. But, like, it almost seems like people are going into this saying that, yeah, I'll buy the doll, when fully knowing they don't have the money, and that at the last second they pull out for, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Or if, you know that you physically have the money, but at the same time, you don't know if you can safely spend that amount of money without messing up your budget. And then that's where you flip-flop. Like, if you're flip-flopping that much on whether you can realistically afford this doll without, turning your budget upside down, then don't be messaging artists. I mean, I'm trying to look at this from both sides of the fence. Because, you know, I can understand that, you know, not being able to afford something that you really want but not a necessity. I mean, that was me 3.5 years ago trying to afford just reborn doll art supplies, not even a full doll. But, you know, like, don't go messaging little small-time artists and, you know, like, fully knowing that you don't have the cash. And if you are that hesitant whether it will break your budget or not, then if you're that hesitant, then you probably don't have the money. And then you just have to wait until you do. That's why I don't have a doll from another artist yet, because I don't have the money. And, you know, I window shop online for dolls, you know, because, you know, everybody does that with whatever it is you're into. You go online and you window shop, so to speak, and look at all the options that you could buy, but, you know, you can't. You know how many dolls I would have by now if I had the money? It's just really frustrating being, like, trying to start your own business and having that happen repetitively. And maybe there's an aspect to it that I'm not seeing, but, like, just stop. Stop with an A, just stop. Like, I know it seems like I'm calling out that individual person, but I'm not really. It's just that was, like, you know, it's the latest incident that it happened in. This is, as I said, it's happened a lot before, and it happens to every artist or, you know, collector that happens to sell a lot of their dolls and then buy new ones. Okay, good, we're still recording. Like, I don't know, like, does that happen in, like, okay, so it's been maybe about 2 hours, maybe a little less. I completely forgot where I was when my camera lost battery. Thanks a lot, you little turd. But, yeah, definitely a very frustrating part of being a reborn artist and trying to get an actual business up and going. Another thing is it's so hard getting started off trying to sell online, because, you know, reborns aren't, like, I've had considerable success selling reborns in my local area, but it's always been someone who's found me online. It's not like I can get a booth at a market and expect to make any profit, because what are the chances someone is just going to walk into a craft market and buy a doll right then and there? It's very, very low. It wouldn't be worth it. Now, I do plan on making, like, you know, knitted stuff and, you know, sewn items to, you know, accessories for the dolls. That I might be able to take to a market, but just the dolls themselves, no. And anyways, so where I'm going with this is, I am all over the place tonight, man. Where I'm going with this is, you know, you have to find places. Excuse me, I don't know what's happening to my throat. Got a frog in my throat? Don't worry, Spooky, I don't actually have a frog in my throat. Looking at my little spooky dude, my little toad. underneath here. He's not underneath here free. He's in his cage, and he's in his tank, and I can just see him when I go like this. Yeah, dude. Anyways, so, God, I cannot keep it together today. Anyway, so you have to try and find a platform to sell the dolls online, and so far my favorite one is Facebook. However, it's not always the fastest way to do it. Like, I feel like it would sell a lot faster, and you would probably get, like, I feel like the more serious buyers go to eBay and stuff like that, whereas Facebook is kind of more where you get the people that are looking to get a really cheap doll. Like, they want a cheap doll, but they don't want a doll that looks cheap. They want the, you know, very elusive and, you know, practically what should be non-existent, but sometimes happens to small-time artists, that their work, they sell their work for less than it should go for. And those get swiped up on Facebook for people looking for a good deal, which, you know, you can't really blame them, but at the same time, it's frustrating dealing with people that are like, well, don't you think that's a little bit expensive? It's like, dude, I'm selling it to you for less than what I paid for the materials, and in my opinion, the doll looks pretty damn good. Maybe you need to, you know, up your budget a little bit. So, you know, Facebook is all in good, but sometimes it's very frustrating trying to sell on there. And one of the reasons I like Facebook is, you know, the person contacts you privately and you make agreements on how you're going to pay and what shipping will be and all that. Whereas, you know, like on sites like eBay, and I haven't looked a whole lot into Etsy, but I'm assuming Etsy is kind of the same. Like, the transaction takes place through their website, so, you know, and often you have to, you know, put what shipping price on it beforehand, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know what shipping is going to be when I have no idea where the person that is going to buy it is going to live? So, you know, I feel this huge risk that if I pick, like, at one end, if I put the shipping price too high, no one's going to want it. But at the same time, if I put the shipping price too low, I run the risk of losing quite a large sum of money, because shipping is damn expensive. So, there's those things that I don't like about eBay and Etsy, and also, you know, being a small-time artist, it's really hard to pay the fees for those things when you know, you have like little to no money, and you're probably already losing money in the process of trying to get things started up without those fees. And I know that, like, I know that they probably, like, they're giving you a service, so, you know, the fees make sense, but my real issue is the whole making you have to put a shipping price beforehand, which makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And I haven't heard a lot of horror stories about Etsy. I keep wanting to say Kijiji. I haven't heard a whole lot of horror stories about Etsy, but I've heard a lot of horror stories from reborn doll sellers in particular, or maybe that's just because that's who I'm following. Maybe there's a lot of eBay horror stories about every, you know, kind of vendor on eBay. But, you know, a lot of horror stories about reborn doll artists that have been, you know, unjustly screwed over, basically, by eBay. You know, like, they basically, it seems to me, and quite a few other people, like, eBay is safe for the customers and not really safe for the sellers. because in these stories it takes like nothing. The person who has bought the doll, in the cases that I'm looking into, because, you know, I'm following people that sell dolls. You know, the person buys the doll, and then they make an unjust and untrue complaint about the doll, and eBay basically, you know, makes them pay a lot of money, or, you know, they're out the money or something. You know, like, you gotta have some, you know, dependability and stability for the customers on the site, but at the same time, you can't be going and screwing over the sellers like that, especially ones that are doing it as a small business, which, you know, there are quite a few of those on eBay. And I just don't feel safe using it when, you know, the items that I'm selling, the dolls, are, you know, like, they're so expensive for just the single item. Like, people with smaller product, you know, like, for example, people who make the eyes. You know, like, it's obviously a loss when something like that happens to them, but and it would still be, you know, kind of devastating, but they wouldn't be out as much money as I would be if something like that happened with just one doll. But, you know, I've decided because I've been having trouble selling Clyde, and I don't know, like, it's taken longer to sell dolls before. I guess it's just because, you know, the last few dolls I've sold have gone really quickly. And I guess, you know, I kind of missed that. Like, you know, why isn't Clyde going quickly? The last two did, and then I got a custom from one. What's going on? And I guess, you know, I'm being kind of whiny and impatient, but I am thinking of looking into Etsy, and I've been doing some research about approximate shipping prices in different places, so I can try and get some rates. And then I'm gonna, you know, do some research, do some math about Etsy's, you know, fees and stuff. Because I've heard from other reborn sellers that Etsy tends to be a safer place for sellers and customers. I mean, I have no personal experience of being screwed over, as I have been saying, you know, as I've so put it, by eBay, although I've never actually sold a doll on eBay either, and I just, like, hearing these stories from these other artists, I'm just like, I don't want to risk it. Like, is it worth it? I don't want to risk it. Okay, well, that's been me complaining, basically, for probably far too long. Let's show you Spooks. Hi, Spooks! Hey, little dude! He's not on the channel a lot, usually because he hides. Today, he's either decided to poke his head out, or he's just trying to burrow in a place that the dirt is too low. He's actually got some color showing. Usually he just looks like a little brown rock with eyes. Unless he's sleeping, then he just looks like a blob of dirt. Okay, well, anyways. Headless baby! You are another project I have to tackle. Too much to do. Okay, well, anyways, that's gonna be all for now. Thanks for listening to, you know, my grievances. Let me know if, you know, you've experienced anything like this, because, you know, I feel like most people who sell dolls have experienced something like this. Anyways, that's all for now. Keep living the Frogling's life. Thank you for watching. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for whatever we're doing tomorrow. I don't have anything planned, but we'll find something. Anyways, thank you so much. And I'm rambling. My brain is mush today. Bye.